Today we're going to be doing a complete review of the VR Box headset that you can see right in front of you. First of all, let's have a quick look at the device itself. So as you can see, we got this kind of glossy plastic here in the front and these vents. And here in the front is where you're going to be putting your phone. And then here in the back we have more of a matte finish, all in black. And you have these sliders to get closer and further away from the image, and you can also slide it sideways depending on how your eyes fit. It has this really nice cushion right here, which is really comfortable, and I'm pleased to say that you can actually use it with glasses as well, which for me was a surprise, but at least with my kind of squared glasses here, these here, they fit perfectly, so I do not even need contacts to get the best experience of this headset. And to be honest, like even without without any glasses, the image still looks decent enough. So for you guys who wear glasses, like I have -3 and it's quite okay. One of the things that I really like about this headset is that it's not too heavy, which makes it a bit more comfortable. And this strap comes from the front, so it also helps a bit if you have a heavier device. Even though, to be honest, with my Note, I do feel that when you move your head around, you can feel the extra weight quite a bit. So hopefully by adjusting the straps, you'll get a better experience. Otherwise, you have these holes here on the sides, so you can charge your device or plug in a wired headphone, which is quite handy. And it has also these air vents here that might help with keeping your device nice and cool. And here in the front, there is this panel that is removable, and you remove it just like that. And that means that your camera will be exposed, allowing you to use it for augmented reality software, or also just as a see-through application, right? So let's just close this again, and I'll show you guys how to put your phone in here. So basically just slide this off, and there's this kind of system right here. And out of the box it comes with these little cushions that you need to put yourself. And I must say, you have to be careful how you place these, because depending on the button layout, it's not going to work very well, and your volume controls or power button might be pressed accidentally. So my first advice is actually install an application. I would recommend the VR Cinema, because when you open the application, it automatically shows you the right direction your device should be in. For example, here the cog is on the under part. If I turn it around, the cog will not move. So that means that all applications will be the same. This is the rotation you should put it. Once you figure out the rotation, just put it in the holder, like so. And I would say, I have the Note 4, which is a 5.7-inch device, and it is nice and snuggly with these cushions. So if you have an even bigger device than that, I think it might be a bit risky for you to use this controller, this headset, I mean. So my advice is, check the dimensions of the Note 4, and don't buy it if your phone has bigger dimensions than that, because it's not going to be a very good experience to put it on and off. Anyway, once you have the device put in here, and then it's quite nice and snugly, it won't fall off at all, and you can just slide it in here, and you can watch in here, and you can actually see what's going on. Of course, one of the issues with this is that once you put it inside, you don't have any control over what your phone is doing. So I all the time have to keep taking it out and selecting what I want and then continuing from there. And I didn't buy the controller because I have this Bluetooth controller right here that has a touchpad, so you can use it as a mouse and control your phone. But I must say that I regret not buying the original controller, because I bet it will work a lot better. This here is really more of a hack than an actual, fit to use product. So yeah, guys, let's have a quick look then at the different pieces of software. And let me first of all answer a question that many people asked, and that is whether when you have the application running, whether it's immersive or whether you see it as a box. And in this case, let me say that it all depends on the adjustment here, and it also will depend a little bit on your own eyes, because I noticed that if I wear this headset without goggles and without lenses, it tends to be a bit more immersive, while if I have my lenses and glasses, and then it is a little bit more like a box. So I actually think depending on how far your eyes are from the thing and maybe how thick your device is and how far away the screen of the device is, you're going to get different experiences with it. But overall, if you just put all these the whole way to the front, and you also like adjust these maybe more into the middle, overall you get a pretty good experience. And I would say many times it depends actually which software you use, because some software actually make the window smaller while others keep it full screen. So that's gonna depend, you know, for you. Another thing is the size of your device might have an impact. For example, mine is 5.7, so almost the entire area is being taken, which means that on my phone it's a little bit more immersive. And I tried it on my 5.2 inch Huawei Honor 7, and it's actually quite good as well, even though you can see a little bit more. But one thing more than just the size, I would say, is whether your phone has some of these LED lights on the buttons, because that is actually something that is a lot worse than just having a little bit of black area. So even though my Note 4 has a bigger screen than my Honor 7, I felt the Honor 7 almost was a little bit more immersive because I never saw these lights, and it was just pure darkness and whatever I'm watching. So it's not really an issue, I would say. However, if you have a very small phone, like under 5 inch, then it might be something you might consider either upgrading for a bigger phone or just trying to get a headset that maybe is more suitable for your size of phone. But anyway, guys, let's have a quick look at the software. And one of the biggest things I would say is that there is a ton of VR and AR software on Google Play, and I haven't really had time to check all of them, but I checked like some of the most popular ones, and I must say, like, over the months it has been better and better, like the experience with the softwares. So first of all, I'll say what is my favorite software, one that I'm really impressed about, and I think if you have any kind of virtual reality headset you should get, and that would be the Full Dive, which is right here. And the Full Dive is basically an application that helps you to stay in VR instead of having to switch applications all the time, which even with the remote would be like breaking the immersive experience, right? So as you can see here, if you look down, there's a little ball, and you have to click here, so you will need a remote for this. And when you go up, as you can see, there's a little world in there, right? And it looks a bit like a PlayStation menu. And so first of all, we have browser, so you can go in here and there will actually be an on-screen keyboard that you can, you know, with your head select which characters you want, and by using the remote or, you know, the touch, you can select what you want. So here's a full browser experience. You can, you know, go up and down with the screen. Yeah. And then here you have apps, which is really handy. It shows you all the different VR apps you have, so you can switch between VR application if you want. And you can go down here and go back to home if you feel like it. Yeah. And then we have video. The first one is online video. The second one is 3D online video from the Dive YouTube channel. And the third one actually uses your own video you have on your phone. So if I click down here, you can see the different videos that I took myself, and I can select to watch, for example, here, a little VR headset. And as you can see, I can see my video, and it's a little bit like, you know, cinema, not very big, you know, not immersive in this case, but still very useful. You can also see images in this software, and you can also see pictures and other things. But this software is incredibly responsive, and I really liked overall like what they did with it. So second, Tuscany Dive is an app I really like. It's really simple. It's just like a small little world where you can like walk around and like see things. And by looking down, you can walk. And this is kind of how it looks. And actually, something that is quite interesting is that on my Note 4 that has a Quad HD display, right, for 1440 pixels, it lags quite a bit, these VR apps, and the Note 4 actually makes me quite nauseous when I use it. And my Honor 7, which is a smaller display at Full HD, even being more of a budget phone, like it's a lot more fluent, and I don't get as sick using that. So that's something you also should consider if you have one of these headsets. And that is, you know, Full HD will always perform, or usually perform better than a Quad HD display. So that's something you should consider maybe. And to be honest, like the quality difference, I didn't really notice much. I think a Full HD screen is more than enough to power your VR experience. But anyway, in this one here, you can just walk around and like see the world. And this one here, as you can see, is full screen, so it's very immersive. Like if I put it in here, you guys might be able to have a quick look at how it looks. So next up is a VR cinema. This is really cool. This is like a virtual cinema, and it actually looks like you're in the cinema. So first here there's, you know, the controls, you know, next, play, and all that. And then I can select just by leaving the thing there for a bit. And what you can see now is a cinema going on, right? So alright, so that's the VR Cinema by Feedroom. Cineville is another cool cinema software which I quite like. There's also VR Cinema, which this one here allows you to see through. So whatever, you know, like right now you can see the lamps and things, but it divides your camera into two screens. So if you're wearing this, you know, you can just see through whatever you're seeing, right? So that's quite handy. And the software also has a movie playback. So whatever, you know, films you have on your phone, like for example in the gallery or in Google Photos, you can just select which video you want. And it will literally transform any video you have into this side-by-side display, which is quite handy. So now let's go to the next one. We have SeaWorld VR, which is like a VR experience underwater. And that looks really cool. Like, I don't know if... and this is something that there's many different ones, right? Like you have Jurassic Park, where you can walk around and see dinosaurs and things. You have the Tuscany Dive I showed you. So here do you see there's the flippers, and like now you're swimming, and you can actually see all the fish and like what you're doing. And if I put it in here, you can have a quick look yourself of how it looks. So do you see, like this is kind of how it looks, right? And I'm sorry for the bad quality here, but you know, it's not too bad. Like you can't see it too much, the sides, right? And it is quite nice. It was quite interesting when I tried this, because this noise of like being underwater, like I felt a little bit like I couldn't breathe, which was kind of interesting. You also have Virtual Tour, which is I think by Google, and you can basically see just different panoramic pictures. So you press on it, and then you're there in that world, and you can, you know, like see, you know, beautiful nature or like castles and things, which looks quite sweet. Now let's see what's next. There's a YouTube VR, which I didn't really like how it looked that much. There's also Go 4D World, which I don't know, I didn't really like it either. One thing like I was really impressed by is this game called Refugia Flight demo. And basically it looks like a flight simulator, and you actually get to fly. But the graphics are incredible, and especially inside the cabin, there's a lot of detail of the different flight instruments. And to play this, you will definitely need a controller, and you can assign the different keys. So if you don't have one of these that will work out of the box without having to configure anything, you can always configure it one by one, which is fine. So just have a look at this. Like, this is really impressive. So right now you're inside the plane, and you can see the propellers, you can see the sunset. It's really beautiful, and I was like really impressed by this. And if I turn on the controller, I'll be able to show you guys once the Bluetooth is connected. I can turn here, and can you see? I can turn here, and the plane will turn the thing. And one thing I noticed that is a bit strange is that when you look like this, there's only nature, but if you change it to low graphics, and then there's actually a city there, so that's something you might want to see. So you can actually fly inside the city and like see the city. So this app is really, really cool, and for I think 80p or £1.60, you can buy the full version that will allow you to stay immersed in this world for longer, and have that experience to fly a plane in a VR, which is really cool. Anyway guys, let's continue. So we have VR 1AR. I didn't really like it much, didn't really do much. This In My VR is a virtual reality game where you're inside a brain, and there's like neurons and all that, and you basically just have to move your head in different directions to make sure that you hit these balls. And this was really cool, like also like visually and also like quite fun. You have to hit as many bad neurons as you can. That is quite cool, and you can see you can do it like this. I don't know if you want to have a quick look in here. So you please nod, right? So you nod.
Initiating minimization sequence. Please stay relaxed.
So do you see like you're inside a brain and you can see all the neurons, which is quite cool. And there's all this, and you're in this kind of spaceship, and you can actually see inside the spaceship, what's going on. So this is really cool and really well made. And one thing, like, I got really dizzy by using this. So that's something you have to see. Like, that's actually my worst complaint about this headset. Is that you just get really dizzy, like especially in these kind of games where you move a lot. So this game is really fun. I would definitely recommend trying it out. And maybe the last thing I want to just go through is the Google Cardboard app, which of course is a really good app. You can actually see cardboard camera, see the, I don't know if you can take pictures yourself or how, but it looks like there's some kind of game here, Lamper VR, Firefly Rescue. You can see Google Street View, and these are actually different apps you can just install. So in a way now Cardboard became a app store for different apps, right, like VR apps, which is pretty cool. Lastly guys, like my conclusion is that for the price, £20 including remote and UK delivery, this is a steal. Like I really think anybody who's into VR and is curious about how it works, like this is an incredible upgrade from Google Cardboard, for example, right? Because you can actually wear it and just relax while watching and being immersed in this world. I would say my biggest problem with this headset is actually the nausea. I get really sick after just using this for a few minutes, especially with my Note 4, because of the high resolution. The games lag a bit more than on other phones, so that makes me feel a lot more sick than whether instead of if it's running completely as it should. But overall, this headset is really good. So yeah guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and I'll see you guys on the next one.